Hey, what's going, y'all? It is yours truly once again. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Step right up, step right up. Got to give y'all something hot off the press. Let's go. Now, my thing is right now, I have so much to say about femininity in regards to a lot of its originality. And one thing I've said before, in regards to the feminine, is it that she really has a personality, or does she have commonality? In my personal opinion, her personality is dictated, yes, I said dictated, and determined by the type of men that she has around her in her life. Yes, keep that in mind, indeed, because it just makes sense. It makes sense with the way a lot of what we see going on with the feminine. A lot of them are less virtuous. Well, they haven't been around men that are righteous that would bring out this virtuosity that they must have. Now, of course, you have your rare exceptional of the feminine who exhibit this amount of virtuosity without much of a masculine influence, but hence she still wants to make sure she is attached to a man early on in her life. And you want to know more about her? Just go into my playlist titled Enigmatic Woman, because this type of a feminine is rare, and she represents the true essence of a virtuous woman. However, one can still strive to be virtuous even if you feel like those attributes of being virtuous is not something that you felt was natural for you to do, or something that you learned about firsthand when you were younger. You can still strive to be virtuous. That is still attractive, just as with the feminine that had a lot of virtues at a young age. Just striving for virtuosity or striving to be virtuous is very attractive to a lot of men. With that said, a lot of the feminine just don't display original femininity. There's no originality. A lot of them are just like the rest of them, if you will. It's just a cookie cutter personality, but it's really more or less based on their commonality. Not only of them being around, about them being around less masculine guys, but also the fact that they just haven't had much of a masculine influence in their life to begin with. So they get around a lot of the feminine who are of the lesser feminine, who also have not had a lot of masculine influence in their life. And so hence a lot of them just starting to talk the same, walk the same, act the same in many ways. And yes, you can even say react the same. That's all you can really see right now. It's unfortunate. That's what we see. That's why there's no originality with the feminine at all, with most of them. What you'll get is a lot of them saying they're like this and they're like that, but really they're like this and they're like that. They're just like the last one. So that's why you get a lot of guys that are always quick to go on to the next one, because she was just like the last one. So I'd say that could be kind of the moral of the story for the feminine that are virtuous and are striving to be virtuous. Don't be like the last one. Don't be like the last one. Be you. Be the only one. And I don't mean that from the standpoint of a certain mindset you want a guy to have to only be focused on you. It's just more or less you be the only one of your type. Something that makes you stand out from the rest of the feminine that are out here. Because from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of the feminine that can't even say that they're original. But there's more to this, and I'm going to bring this up to y'all. So my thing is, keep this also in mind. Like, one could say that masculinity is no longer original either. To a certain extent, that is correct. However, there's more to it with masculinity. not only is masculinity supposed to be original, it's supposed to be the original. Because see, femininity was born out of masculinity. You see, the masculine came first. The masculine came first. The masculine spoke to the feminine, let there be light from out of the darkness. You see? But keep this also in mind, like this, to me, as far as what I believe masculinity is, like I'm getting to the point of where I don't even say that. Like I'm getting to the point of where I'm no longer saying masculinity so much. I just want to talk more on divinity. As a man grows more into his masculine, he should be actually becoming more divine. From masculinity to divinity, that's what should be about the masculine. That God body. You know, is he Godable? You know, godly. Or we can even say it this way if we want to kind of reverse what I just said. Is his godliness having her become more Godable? You see? But is she even Godable herself, meaning virtuous in her ways, or trying to be more virtuous to where she can continue to be more Godable, being more of a goddess around him, the essence of a godly man, to where not only she sees and she becomes more Godable, but in essence, this to me means guidable, you see? But hey, we could say this, add this to this, you know, this Godable aspect that I'm talking about. Godable, audible, see, the sound, having sound mind. That's all part of this godliness. Basically, audible in a godly way. Yes, audible in a godly way. So basically, to me, what represents the originality of the feminine is just given how sound she is. How sound she is and how she's yielding to the sound of a man, the sound man, the righteous man. Otherwise, you can see how her life has been dictated by the bad sounds, by the ungodly men, by the ones that didn't guide her. They misguided her. Thanks a million.